Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, which was highly requested, a lot of you all wanted to know why I'm selling my home. I recently did a video called The Economy Sucks, and in that video I mentioned that I was going to go ahead and sell my property. I no longer want to be a homeowner, and I briefly talked about why, but I wanted to really go into detail. So in this video, I'm going to be discussing what really led me to sell my home, first of all, just kind of my mindset around home ownership altogether, and then lastly I'm going to let you in on what my plan is for the funds that I receive once I sell. So before we get started, make sure that you give this video a thumbs up. Also, feel free to leave your opinions and your thoughts on home ownership and just should I sell, should I not sell, why or why not. I actually am interested in hearing what you all think. Also, make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and let's get started. Okay, so I'm gonna be very honest. The number one reason why I want to sell is because I want the money. I don't want to just sit on the equity. I don't want to be a landlord. I don't want to get a HELOC, and I'm gonna go into each of these, but I want the money. I want to be done. I just want to take the money and run. I don't have a job, can't find a job, I'm broke. We could really end the video here, but I'm going to go into more detail. But let's start with the number one point. I don't want to be a landlord. If I was to rent out my property, I shared this before, but I would make approximately $175 to $200 a month. To deal with the headache of being a landlord, it would have to be more than $200. With all disrespect. I wouldn't do it for $175, $200 when I can go ahead and get the money now and go on about my life and be free, right? The cutting grass, the maintenance, I just don't see that for Kiki. That's just not me. Now, at one point I did want to be a landlord, and I think that was more before the pandemic. I really believe that the pandemic changed my perspective on life. But do you all remember the moratorium where they could not evict people, and a lot of people took advantage of that and just didn't pay rent for a year or so? That right there told me all that I needed to know. People don't view landlords as human beings. People look at landlords as a business. They look at them as greedy people. A lot of these people had jobs, they just didn't pay because they didn't want to pay. And after owning a rental car business and dealing with people with just cars, I would never deal with people when it comes to a home, ever. When I ran the numbers, it just made more sense for me to sell now and walk away. I also wanted to talk about, a lot of people were suggesting that I get a HELOC, which is a home equity line of credit, which is a loan to invest in other things. To me, that also doesn't make sense. The interest rates are too high, and I would have to find something that would profit the amount of the payment so that I wouldn't go under. So it's not worth the risk to me. After almost filing bankruptcy, and I mean I was right here to filing bankruptcy, debt is not something I really want to play with anymore. I over leveraged debt in the worst way, and that's another thing. I couldn't even get approved for a HELOC if I wanted to right now. I don't know what I could put that money into to start making enough to cover the payments right away. Another thing that people suggested was to do Airbnb. I'm not gonna say that Airbnb hosts were a lot of the cause for the housing crisis, but we do have to kind of admit that they did play a part, and that is no offense to them. I actually at one point wanted to do Airbnb for an apartment, not for my house. Airbnb is very overly saturated. I did Turo and I see how oversaturated that business is, but Airbnb is too. Don't get me wrong, people are still making their money. I just personally don't think it's worth it, and I don't want to do Airbnb. I don't want to deal with the maintenance and people destroying my stuff. As y'all know, I had so much of my stuff destroyed when I had the rental car business. Airbnb is just a heck no. It is a heck no. This was my home. You know, I would rather somebody come in and live in it and love this house like how I love this house. I wouldn't want it to be a business. I live in a great neighborhood with a great school. I don't really see it as a money-making house, you know? Something that I didn't mention is I was house hacking when I bought this house. So it was me, my mom, and my sister. I got this house for all of us. But me by myself as a single woman with a little boy, I don't need a space this big. My mom moved out and she lives in a really nice senior apartment type thing. My sister is about to move out. So then it's just gonna be me. It's just kind of a big house for 2 people. Well, 1.5 people. Me and my little one. Cutting the yards and all of that, I'm just a girl. I don't wanna do all that. I would rather go get an apartment with just me and my little one and call it a day. When it comes to having a house, there's a lot of things that go into it, you know, which brings me into my next point, maintenance and repairs. I'm done. What the heck are gutters? I don't know. I just got them clean. That kind of stuff. I like a low maintenance life. I really do. You have to know yourself. I'm very self-aware. Now, let me tell you something I did do right. I kept a home warranty, and that helped out so much because the things that I did have to repair, I didn't have to pay as much as I would have had I not had a home warranty. And as a woman who can't just point something out and say, oh, that's the so-and-so, I would call them and they would come and save the day. If you do buy a home, keep that home warranty. That definitely helps because they repair everything, my fridge, everything. But more than anything, I just have realized that home ownership is not for me. And I'm not saying that I will never own another property again, but it would have to make sense. I don't think I would ever be a landlord with that. I would like to get into house flipping. That's something that I've always wanted to do since I was a kid. I always wanted to flip houses, and I still might do that. But I did kind of want to deep dive on something else I have learned. Some of you all was asking how I know about Gary, Indiana. I've been twice, and I actually love Gary, I really do. But when I went specifically to participate in the St. Joseph County auction, St. Joseph or St. John's, I think it was St. Joseph County auction, and at that auction, the property, the land starts at $500. That's the starting bid. I didn't win any of my bids. However, I quickly learned from that you really never own anything. These houses were paid off, but people couldn't pay their property taxes, and they were gonna lose their whole entire house that they paid years into for 500 bucks. Really think about that. Like, you know, it puts things into perspective. So you mean to tell me I will spend 30 years paying off my house, but the moment something happens in my life and I can't pay my property taxes, y'all gonna come get it? For pennies on the dollar on top of that, for less than I paid for it? It makes you think. You never own anything. You never own anything. Someone could put a lien on your house. I got sued by the state twice. They could put a lien on my house. Luckily, it didn't go there, but they could. They could put a lien on my house. And now that I know that, baby, y'all can have it. I do want to buy land and allow people to park their RVs or their tiny homes and stuff on my land. Owning actual property, I don't know. I might buy again. I can't speak for the future me. The Kiki in 2026, she might buy another one. Right now, how I look at things, you can't call me a homeowner if I can lose my home like that by any little thing, you know? So call me a home renter if that's the case, if you can evict me. Owning a home can be a very positive thing because, like I told you all, with me selling my home, I'm gonna be coming up thousands of dollars. So, you know, it's very effortless money. I'll say that. It's effortless money. All I did was live here. I don't know how the market is gonna be years down the line, but my house appreciated by a lot for me to only be in it for 4 years. You know, there's pros and cons to everything. Now let's get into my plan for the money. Number one, a lot of people ask, where will I be going once I sell the property? I will likely be living in an Airbnb, or I may stay in a family member's property. They have a house in Jacksonville, and since it's the summer, I figure why not just go down there and save some money and just take a break. I feel like I've been overthinking so much about everything. I would love to just have a mental break, go to Florida, call it a day. I don't know how much I will make, but I know it'll be a couple of thousand. So my plan immediately, as soon as I close and I get that deposit, immediately I plan on doing a contribution to a Roth IRA. I already have a Roth IRA. I've lost everything. So I'm gonna have to start all over. And that's something that's really important to me, is saving for retirement. So the plan is to do the max contribution into the Roth IRA. I think at this time it's $7,000, correct me if I'm wrong. Immediately, I gotta get started investing in my future. I never wanna be down this bad again. All right. Number two, another investment I plan on doing is the 529 plan for my son. I plan to get a flexible 529 plan for him so that I will go ahead and have that stacking. I think the max contribution for that is $17,000. I'm not necessarily going to put 17,000 in there, but I'm gonna set him up because I also want to invest for him, so when he is older and he graduates, that'll be taken care of. Another thing that I plan on doing is paying up my expenses for the year. If you follow me, then you know that when I became debt free, I was really big on paying up my bills for the year. My plan is to get back to that, so I plan on paying my car insurance up for the year if they let me. Usually it's 6 months, but I'm gonna try for the year. My phone bill, my mama phone bill, my renter's insurance for wherever I'm living, and also my health insurance plan. I never want to be in that position again where I'm behind on my bills. I've never been that person. It is gonna feel really nice to just pay everything up for a while and not have to think about it. Another thing that I'll have to do is buy a cash car. Currently, I still have 2 cars from the banks. They have not picked them up yet, so I'm just driving them. I haven't made another payment, but I'm driving them. All I have is car insurance on the cars. After they repossess those 2, I plan on getting a basic cash car, something that will get me from point A to point B. I want a cash car. I don't want to make car payments, so I'm gonna get something simple. Luckily, my uncle sells cars, so I'm just gonna buy one from him and call it a day. Also, my mom's car doesn't work anymore, so I'm gonna buy her a car as well. Just a little cash something, nothing too major, just a little cash car. I also plan on buying in bulk a lot of my home necessities. For example, tissue, paper towels, laundry detergent, dish detergent. Just really stock up on everything. Being broke, like how I was traumatizing. I want to stock up as much as I can and just live, be able to breathe, not overthink about anything, have everything I need, and call it a day. For safety reasons, I'm not posting anything about the house, like showing videos and the DIYs just yet. Once I sell, that is my plan. I'm gonna show you all every project that I've done on this house. I plan on getting some footage of the open houses and how we prep for that. All of that type of content will be done once I sell. So I will definitely keep you all in the loop. I hope you all enjoyed this video. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.